Okay, and we are back. return to OriginPath. So we're on the versatile heritages, which have lineages and feats. Let's see. Nephilim. We just put in Grim spawn, so Hell spawn's next. No, we just put in Hell spawn. So, Lawbringer is next. LA Woodbringer. Lawbringer. And we're just going through. We're still doing data entry on this and basic, some basic stuff. Okay. So that's Lawbringer. Next is Muse Touched. The Azada Born. Okay. Physical attack and skill check. Oh, that's one of those split screen things. Where, hold on, can I turn that off? So I cannot switch to a pageless format with this. Okay. Weird flex docs, but okay. Why is it doing that? Huh. Okay, that was weird. But we've got more for here as well. Next we have the pitboard. Probably skill check, I'd have to guess. Er, Time for feats. So it's physical attack. Halo. Oop, oop. Counter and cast a spell. Halo provides the ability to turn the light cantrip on and off. Impulse capitals, but we fix it. Didn't sustain a spell just become sustain in the remaster? Yeah. So the spell should be lowercase here. Okay. And next is Nephilim Eye. Widowed last line. There we go. Sensory ability. And exploration. Morning, Kobold. How's it going? About to start work. Yeah, I've just started on the about 15 minutes ago or so. And then I have a full shift at work ahead afterwards. Work's been easy enough the past couple of days that I've had it because I'm training a new guy for night shift, which unfortunately does bear some possibly bad news, which means I might have less hours, which is bad for pay, but I mean, I guess good for personal time. But I don't know that that's necessarily what's going to happen. I want to work on design, but I need to actually do writing. What do you mean by design in this instance? Because that can mean a lot of things. It can mean writing, technically. Nephilim lore. You have to design, not work writing. I gotcha. What kind of writing do you do for work? Like you write books, novels, technical writing, blogs, or not blogs, articles, fiction, etc. Online serialized fiction. I live on Patreon and commissions. I wish I could live on Patreon. I get $4 on Patreon right now. I have 4 and some change. Uh, uh, but I also am. I warned a coworker not to train their replacement, but they did and got laid off. I really hope that's not what's happening here. But we've basically had 3 people to run the entire store since I started working there, because almost immediately after I got there, somebody got fired for taking tips. I wish I didn't need commissions at all. Gotta work on some today. I would love to have some commissions. I've got one commission that I'm working on Tuesdays. Also, hello, Blue Sapphire. Welcome in. First time chat. Yeah, I really hope that I'm not training my replacement, but I don't figure I am, just given how constantly short-staffed we are. Like, in my first couple of months, I ended up having to cover so many extra shifts. Because, like, if one of us has anything else to do, like if one of us is sick or if one of us has a funeral to go to, which was happening when I first started working, like death arrangements and stuff, it lands a lot of stress on other people, right? So hopefully this is just about sort of spreading us out a little bit, which might mean fewer hours, but that means more hours I can work on things that might be able to pay me elsewhere. Hopefully I will maintain enough commissions to at least make bills. Sorry, I just brain blinked. Here we go. Skill check. So, welcome again, Blue Sapphire. How did you find the stream? Did you see one of my links, or did you just wander in here? Have you been watching before and just lurking, or are you actually new? Team plus Discord. Oh, welcome in. Always nice to see new people in from a friendly Discord. Nimble hooves. Wait, is this one actually going to fit nice? Maybe? Nimble hooves. Probably not. It's still probably going to go on to the next page. You might be able to fake it though. Movement.
Oh, it does. It does fit. Yes.
Oh, that is so nice. Even with that, yeah. Yeah. Boom shakalaka. Oh, we need more pages. Okay. Let's do this. Nope. Select 2, please. There we go. Duplicate 2 pages. And then select all. Clear. And then we're gonna duplicate them again. And then we're gonna duplicate all 4. Yeah, it is very very satisfying when things just fit on their own without any mushing or any funny business. Yes, So this is partially made with assets that EOG or Eldritch Osiris Games has in our asset library. I forget, unfortunately, exactly where these came from. I could go digging for that though. But they were arranged by Luigi, I think, into this border, and it's very pretty. Luigi came up with the sort of new base layout for and like the style guide for how EOG products look now. Tell them they got compliments. I will. I'll actually, because I have a tendency to forget things. I'll pull that up now. EOG. EOG. I'll put it in the art room. Luigi. Luigi, you have received compliments on stream for the border and layout style of EOG. It is very pretty, and let me see. How do I do this again? Document setup. Is it facing pages? Turn on facing pages, and then hope nope, I did it backwards. File, document setup, start on left. Oh crap! It crashed. It does that now and again. I'm using Affinity Publisher 1. And it's a little less stable than 2. I have 2, but the project's in 1 because the other people in EOG have version 1. And it's a little unstable, but on the upside. Oop, wrong button. On the upside, Affinity, even in version 1, is extremely good about creating backups. And it does it very, very frequently. So let's try that again. Facing pages, but start on the left. Or did I do it wrong? I still did it wrong, didn't I? Maybe it is right, and I was just scrolled down to a place where it wasn't transitioning properly. Oh, it does not like flopping around. Okay. On the plus side, it's better than Adobe. It is better than Adobe, if for only the reason that I do not have to pay for it every month. And that alone makes it better than Adobe. It doesn't hurt that it's also generally good. It's funny, I was just thinking just yesterday how all writing is ultimately about trying to match a specific shape rhythm the story scene character needs to take, drawing out a description to emphasize the subject, shortening a scene to avoid slowing things down, how a game is all about having as many tools as you can for shortening or lengthening your project. It's extremely literal for real publishing. Yeah. I have a tendency to over-focus on things and like over-explain things, so I'm like blah 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 blah. So I'm not good at like narrative writing because I'll fucking get all Dickensian and over describe shit. Try this again. I just want it to look nice and show people how it meets up in the middle. Yep, okay. There we go. So this is what it looks like when the pages are actually facing. It runs together. It's very pretty. Can I clear the preview? Yeah. But generally speaking, most EOG products do not have physical prints anyway, so it's not that big a deal for facing, outside of like if you run the your PDF reader in facing mode, which some people do and some people don't. Like, I found it to be very hit or miss. Varying sentence structure is like, I swear, like half my editing is just fussing over sentence paragraph structure. It's mostly potentially destructive form of editing, since it's easy to overshoot if you cook with a particular project for so long. Yeah, one of the biggest things that like I've learned from like working on Sinclair's project is that word count is a lie. Word count is a deception. You cannot count A and disestablishmentarian with the same weight. Nor can you treat a stat block the same way you would a paragraph of lore text. They just don't add up. And so like I'm working on the codex primarily on Fridays. I also worked on it yesterday just because last Friday I was not feeling very well and I basically got very little done. So I wanted to make up for it with some work yesterday. We are on the half elf. And these just have feet, so they're probably gonna end up on the same page. Is half elf still half elf? I thought it was like Ivarin or something. Or is that just a lore name? Is it still mechanically half elf? Okay, yeah, it is Ivarin. Is mechanically correct, yeah. Hey, Paper Ninja. That's why I keep different word count metrics for game and fiction writing. It's not just stat blocks are different speed, but the research breaks rabbit holes are different. It's not just stat blocks are different speed, but the research breaks rabbit holes are different. Oh yeah, research rabbit holes are they can take a while. I remember there was one time I spent 4 hours just discussing the implications of a particular mechanic and why it was important not to ignore in a Sinclair's chat. Okay, so I need to leave a note for Ozzy. Okay. Notes. Since they're not here today, notes. Half elf and half orc have new names and traits in the remaster. It would probably be best to reflect this using the wording of the docs right now. Okay, there we go. Research rabbit holes and prose. Googling what are honeybee antennae made out of and having to remember to add Reddit to the end of the search. Honeybee antennae are made of dreams and error. I would assume that they're made out of chitin like the rest of their exoskeleton. I could be wrong. That is just an assumption. Half-hour argument whether you should be using Halfling's heritage language for moving through the undergrowth or Goblin's language for moving through undergrowth, or you separate and like put the both of them in a blender and just make it the same but different. There's a thing that like kind of still gets me is that Elf still has the one feat, the one speed boost feat that doesn't have the hey, this doesn't stack thing. And it seems broken until you realize that all the other ones have that this does not stack, but it's just so annoying that it also doesn't. A hideous Frankenstein third formatting choice. It doesn't have to be hideous, but yes, absolutely a Frankenstein. Frankensteining is not always bad. It helps you to find the posited average of intent and language. Because sometimes you take what's there and you mush some things around and change a few things, but it's still the same. It's different, but it's the same. One of my favorite rabbit holes to go down is hardness and material statistics. Partially just because I feel like it's an underutilized part of the game. I'm gonna put half elf in for now, and half orc, just temporarily until I get clearance from Ozzy to change it. But I'm pretty sure it'll be changed to the new terms, Ivarin and Dromar. Other things that I have a tendency to be like, I guess, defensive of are familiars, or I guess pets now, because you could do it with just a pet. It wouldn't have to be a familiar. And being small. Why are you still using half elf instead of Ivarin? Because that's what's in the base document that I'm working off of. I'm almost certain, given that Nephilim is there, that they will want me to change this. I didn't write this. I'm just doing data input right now and formatting. But like I said, I'm almost certain that they will choose to change it, but not my writing. Oops. Like when I'm doing work for people that I'm like close with and I know, or that I've been given generally a broader license to edit on, I'll absolutely just do that automatically. But I'm not currently technically editing. I'm formatting, or not formatting. Yeah, formatting is correct. I'm doing layout. So outside of gaining particular permissions, I will stay my hand. But I will ask for those permissions, generally, because I was like, hey, this is wrong. or is this question mark? And like Ozzy's been pretty receptive to suggestions and stuff. Oops. Activism. But yeah, I like part of the reason I started streaming, and like I'm sure, or I think we've already talked about this, Kobold, but it's basically body doubling for me. Even if there's no one in chat, text insert, sorry, break, column break. It's just gives me that little bit of pressure to trick my my executive dysfunction into to stop being such a dick. Monstrous peacemaker. So that's why I have a semi repeated schedule, like on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I usually do whatever, like I'll have those as flex days or days that I work on personal stuff. On Tuesdays I work on currently commissions for a certain person that I have commissions for. On Thursdays, like today, I work on Eldritch Osiris Eldritch Osiris game stuff, and on Friday I work on Sinclair's stuff. And then I take Sunday and Monday off from streaming. Although I have been considering maybe on Monday just playing video games, to give myself an excuse to play video games, because I sit here and I go like, I would really like to play video games, and then I don't, because I feel like I need to be doing something, and then I just sit and do basically nothing anyway. Once I have the VSona set up, I want to do similar, actually. Nice to get some brain context switching. What types of games are you thinking about? I tend these days to play really short form games that don't require a lot of time investment, like roguelikes and stuff, but partially I want to like get out of that because I really love RPGs. I wouldn't be able to do this on stream because I do not have a capture card, but like I wanted to get back into playing Final Fantasy 12 because it's my favorite Final Fantasy. But in general, I like RPGs. I like Castlevania or Metroidvanias. I like chill farming sim games like Stardew, and I really want to get Fields of Mystria, but I can't afford it to get a game right now. But I have Stardew Valley. And I can emulate older ones as well. I'd probably, if I started doing this, I'd probably actually play Symphony of the Night on emulator, or I mean on totally legit hardware. Because that's one of my favorite games. Another one of my favorite games that's an RPG that I could play that way is Chrono Cross. I really like Chrono Cross. I think it's unfairly maligned and a little underrated. This is skill check. Oops. It's hard being the sequel to Chrono Trigger. I had the benefit of playing Chrono Cross first. Like, Chrono Trigger is amazing, don't get me wrong. But to me, they're just separate games. Like, I didn't have the preconception that it was perception. Okay. I mean, just from the PR perspective. Yeah. And like, it doesn't help that it's just like they were like, oh, it's not a sequel. And then, I mean, somewhat spoilers, it's kind of a sequel. Like, one of the things I think is incredible about it was like just how unique its combat was. Like, its system for fighting was, it was still very like in the vein of JRPGs where, you know, it's turn-based and stuff, but they had action points effectively, and the way the elements work, which were like your spells and items and stuff, was interesting. Yeah, I've played both, and both are really good. They're different. They're just different games. They play differently. They have some influence on each other, but they're both games with great visuals, beautiful music, and really unique, for the time at least, combat and stuff. The one drawback of Chrono Trigger, I would say, is one that everyone can agree on, and it's that the battle music is always the same. Always. And it's maybe not always the right energy. But it's still a good song. You just get tired of it the 1,000th time. Hydrate or dihydrate? Okay. Oh, Chrono Cross, it depended. So the sort of the opening sequence of the game, you could have one random character each time. But it was just a sort of predisposition thing. And then the rest of the characters, you had to do like certain things to get them. And so you could, like, if you wanted to get Lena, when Kid tries to join your party, you have to tell her no, like 3 or 4 times, and then she'll be like, fine, whatever, I don't need you anyway, and she'll go off, and then you can go back to town and Lena will join your party. You can always get Poshul, the weird little pink dog. I'm pretty sure you can always get Mojo too, the voodoo doll guy. You just have to talk to the right people. But like certain characters you can only get on a given playthrough. Like before you go to Viper Manor, you basically have to choose between Pierre, Guile, and Korcha. It's funny because I have a character named Lena in this story that's supposed to be writing, and I keep hearing her name here. Lena. Did I say Lena? Maybe not. I think there is a Lena in Chrono Cross though. And there's a Lean, Queen Len or Lean in Chrono Trigger. I don't hear so good. Maybe sounded like it though. That's fair. I also talk shitty sometimes, and like my words run together. So who knows? But now I must ask the Google, is there a Lena in Chrono Cross? Oh yeah, duh. Okay. The thing that threw me off was the spelling. Yeah, Lena. She's like your main character's childhood best friend and possibly girlfriend in the home timeline. But in the alternate timeline, you died when you were like 8. And so she thinks you're an asshole for just like saying that you're this person. So yeah, I was saying Lena, and I just blanked really super freaking hard because my brain broke. But it's Lena, Leena, in Chrono Cross. And yeah, she also embodies a trope that I'm really fond of that I only ever see in old JRPGs. And actually, now that I think of it, only like a couple of them. And that's using frying pans as weapons. Like we have that now in Pathfinder2e because of the halfling frying pan. But Lunar would always have someone, Luna generally, using a frying pan as a weapon. And sensory ability. And Lena uses a frying pan as a weapon. Which I love that trope. It's so dumb that I like it, but I like it. This was called Orc State. Now we're on to a whole nother section I might have to figure out. Alrighty. Let's go back up to before all this. Whoop. Oh, jeez. Even further. I need the start of a section, please. Okay. So yeah, I grew up on a lot of JRPGs, so I like them a lot. Lunar, Legend of Dragoon, Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger, not in that order. Final Fantasy, some tactics games too, Final Fantasy Tactics, Eternalize, Vandal Hearts. And I really like those games as well. I made a good friend over mentioning Eternalize once, just because it's not a well-known game, I guess. It's a very niche JRPG or tactics RPG. Why is it doing this? Hey, Super Cat. Welcome in. Bonjour. Hello. I've been talking about video games that I played. Okay, why is it doing this? Oh, because they're flowing. Duh. Disconnect. Disconnect. Please. Disconnect. How can we do things? Yeah, there we go. I was so confused. All right, so background. DC. Let's do it this way. We might just remove the table bit here because we're going to continue this style of formatting instead of using a table. Snippets. Light. Something about a detective RPG. I don't know if I've ever played a detective RPG. I've heard of some, like, I think, like, isn't some of the Personas kind of like that? But no, I meant tactics RPGs. Like Final Fantasy Tactics and Eternal Eyes. I guess Fire Emblem also fits into those. Misheard, yeah. That's all right. I say things like crap, so. No biggie. But yeah, I like tactics RPGs, JRPGs, Metroidvanias. First game I ever beat was Super Metroid. I'm a big fan of CRPGs. Like, I like them well enough, and like I want to like them more. I've just never really been able to play them in a way that that I've also been able to like stick with them. And part of that's just I didn't really get into them a whole lot until I was an adult and had surprisingly little time to dedicate to them. Big first two Fallouts and Disco Elysium. Yeah. I've heard Disco Elysium's really good. The only ones I've really ever played are, I think I had Neverwinter Nights 2 growing up, but my computer couldn't handle it for very long. And then I got Pathfinder Kingmaker and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Or I got the demo of Wrath of the Righteous anyway, and my computer couldn't really handle it. And Kingmaker, I really wanted to get into more, but I just didn't have time to dedicate to it. And like going back to it, I have the problem of going back to an RPG after a long period of not playing it. I'm just like, I just want to start again. I don't remember what I was doing. But like I guess I also have a somewhat eclectic group of games that I'm fond of. I really like the Wild Arms games, but Wild Arms 3 is my favorite. I haven't played the first two, to be fair. And I've heard they're really good. I like Rogue Galaxy. It was an end of lifetime PS2 game that was really good. I reached the second or third act of Baldur's Gate, and I can't bring myself to continue. May head out for now. Calling with a friend. All right, take care, Kobold. Have a good day. Acrobat. Please let me rambo. But yeah, go ahead. Feel free. The chat is there. This is also a skill check. I feel like most of these are gonna be skill checks just because that's how backgrounds do. There are ads. I do not know if that interrupts your if that cut me off and telling you could ramble. So I'll just type it in. Feel free. Animal Whisperer. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I guess I'm more surprised that Disco Elysium is considered a CRPG, because doesn't the C stand for combat? Or am I misinterpreting that? I thought Disco Elysium was more explorative and narratively driven. C stands for computer. Oh, okay. It doesn't have a really good definition, but it's more similar to TCRPGs, but on a computer. Okay. That actually explains a lot. Now I feel feel appropriately dumb. And I'm just being a shit. I'm not actually putting myself down for not knowing. People sometimes are like, you shouldn't talk about yourself like that. I'm just being a shit. I do not feel that deeply about having not understood, and I feel more bad about forgetting what the word is that I'm thinking of. Where you shorten a word into letters, that thing. It's not an anagram. An anagram is the rearrangement of letters into something else, but I can't remember the proper word right now because I am a ding. Abbreviation. That's the word, I think. The game was so good after I beat the game, I had this empty feeling of wanting much more of it. But since Disco Elysium is a one-of-a-kind game, there's nothing like it out there. For months, I couldn't enjoy any game apart from Disco Elysium. I played through it in its entirety about 5 times with different characters and personalities, later to scratch the itch. I played the classic Fallouts, and then finally, after playing them, I could ease myself back into regular games. It barely fit the character limit. I mean, that's good. Like, I know that like having an empty feeling is not necessarily good, but it's good to be touched by art and stuff. So it has, as with all things, its pluses and negatives. But I think finding something that speaks to you that deeply is really good. If I could erase my memory and play it again, I would. Let's see. Like I've seen this posed as like a question, like if you could forget any movie or game and play it again, which one would it be? And I honestly don't know. For me. But I think I put different weight on things than some people. So like I don't care about spoilers and stuff, for example. So like I think the whole forget it and do it again thing is something that I don't see much point in for me personally. Because I can enjoy something the second time. Red Dead Redemption. I never played Red Dead. I watched my wife play a little bit of 2, and I've watched plenty of other people, at least talk for significant amounts of time on Red Dead, like video essays. But like, I guess I don't play that many games where there's like this big awe-inspiring, like deep cut thing for me. But I'm also probably a fundamentally fucked up person somehow. So I don't let it bother me. I just enjoy what I enjoy and try to just, I guess, enjoy that. I'm totally coherent and make good points. Yes. Like, I'd pose it more as what game would I like to just go back and play again? Because I don't really have like a lack of replay value. I don't attribute lack of replayability to games. I find games replayable in general. But I'll also watch the same like series of YouTube videos for a month straight, even though they only take a few hours. Just because I enjoy watching them. Like I've got a playlist, or it's an auto-generated playlist even, of like H Bomber Guy and Grimbeard and shit. YouTube Dungeon Chill. It took me a second. My memory's not the best. At times. Like Dungeon Chill, Madular Gaming, or Mandalore Gaming and Madular. I watch a lot. Excuse me. Like, I also, there's just a ton of games that I've played, thoroughly enjoyed, and never completed. So many games like that. I've never beaten Skyrim. The only Bethesda game I have completed is Fallout 3, and that's because the story was surprisingly short. But I've played Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Skyrim, Morrowind, Oblivion, all for dozens, if not hundreds of hours each. Back when there was time to do such things. I guess there's like I want to play Deus Ex, like the original one, because I've heard that it's quite good. But I do not have. And there was once a time when I was rather the pirate, but I have grown to the point where I find the process a bit tiring. So I only go for the easiest of marks, so to speak, like emulation. Excuse me. But yeah, like I'm an enjoyer of video games. I'm not necessarily good at video games either. So there's that as well, where I kind of suck at them for the most part. I also like card video games. I played Pokemon TCG on Game Boy, and I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories on PlayStation 1. It was such a jank game, but it's fun. Whenever there's any kind of competition in a game, I'm always the worst. Yeah. You don't have to be the best. I don't really play competitive online games for the most part. Like, I like to. I enjoy it when I can. It's just another one of those things where it's just like, do I have the time for this? And the answer is usually no. Oops. As long as I'm having fun, it's fine. Yeah. Like, I think the last actually competitive game I played was Witch It, which is like a prop hunt game and I very much prefer being like the witch or a witch where I'm doing the hiding as opposed to doing the hunting. I just find it more fun. And like I never really had, like, growing up I didn't have like the internet. Well, for one, I didn't have the internet, and two, like I didn't have like friends that could come over. So I had Halo. I just played Halo by myself. And I never had like Call of Duty or anything until I was an adult and I got Black Ops 3. And then I got mediocre at it. And ended up playing other games. For a long time, I played Guild Wars 2 as an MMO. And as with so many things that I grew to prefer and like, it was because there was no subscription fee. I got it because I paid at the time like $70 up front for the game, and that was all I had to pay. And I was fine with that. I didn't care that it was like kind of expensive up front. And then, oh, excuse me. And I enjoyed it vastly for a long time. I got into a lot of RP. But one of the things I learned, one of the things I love doing from that game is finding ways out of bounds or into places you're not supposed to be. I really enjoy doing that in especially MMO worlds, because they always have like ancillary stuff that just got left out of any missions or anything, but it's there because they couldn't be bothered to take it out. And so I really liked finding and exploring places like that in there. Never really got too deep into any other proper MMOs. I play Genshin now and then because my wife plays Genshin. And I enjoy exploration, but it's another thing with time again, like where I don't feel like I have enough time to play the game the way I want. I have to, do the dailies. I have to get my primo gems. And like, so the more pointless sort of wandering that I like to do in big open worlds like that, I don't feel like I have the time to do. Which is also another reason I've never completed a Bethesda game other than Fallout 3, is because not even side questing. I just are you thinking of Boundary Break, I think it's called, or something like that. I liked, yeah, I liked them as well. I was really fond of their video on Metroid Prime. Because, like, Metroid Prime is a game that, oddly, like, I played before I got my love of breaking boundaries. And Tetrabit. I haven't heard of that one before. And so, like, but yeah, I had never thought about, like, getting out of bounds, really, as a good thing, when I was playing Metroid Prime. And so I thought it was really cool. They do cut content videos. Alright. Let me usually message that to myself. Are you done for the day? Not yet. You got an hour left. They are under work. Yes. They are also mechanical traits. Oh, I forgot to send myself the message because I saw Ozzy responded to me. This is what was it? Tetrabit? Tetra. They go into game files and look through concept art to see what goes unused or is missing. I do like stuff like that too. I also like Easter egg stuff and speed runs. I have a tendency to go through phases where I watch a lot of like games done quick for a while. And like I even for a charity stream once I speed ran the was it 25th anniversary or 20th anniversary edition of Final Fantasy 1. I did not get a good time because one of the charity things you could drop was to send me back to my last save point, of which I only made like 4 throughout the entire playthrough, and those got used a few times. And so I got sent back quite a few times, including once when I had just beat the final boss and they were like, go back. I was like, well, shit, okay. But thankfully, like, there's a save point there's a save right before that. Criminal. That's where we're at. Did I? No, it's just right. Cultist is next. Helps if I add the C. But like I also really love the RPG light Castlevanias and Bloodstained, because it follows in that stead. Like I've always found those really fun. Symphony of the Night is one of my favorite games. Uh, I forgot to fix this. Um, and like in those games, I haven't played all of them, unfortunately. Just because of, you know, what I had at the time and whatnot. So I've played Symphony of the Night. I've played Dawn of Sorrow, but not Aria of Sorrow, which people tell me is a travesty. They say that Aria is the superior game, but I did not have Aria. I had Dawn. I haven't played a Castlevania like game before. Maybe I should give it a try. I used to be turned away by the moody atmosphere, but I'm more open to it now. I think it varies game to game. Symphony of the Night is a good one. It's a little bit older, but it's solid and holds up today. But if you want a more modern experience, I'd absolutely say Bloodstained. So Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is quote unquote the newest Castlevania. It's made by Igarashi, who is like the guy that's behind like Symphony of the Night and the newer Castlevanias in general. In terms of vibe, even though it's like not related to, is it Konami? So it's also very accessible. You can get it very easily. Like I'm not actually a fan of like the old Castlevania games, just because I think the controls are clunky and they don't have the RPG light elements that I do like. But Symphony of the Night's a good one. If you're into emulation, Aria of Sorrow would probably be a good one. Order of Ecclesia would be a very good one. Order of Ecclesia is a lot of people's favorite. I believe both of those were Game Boy Advance, I think. So they'd be easy to emulate. DS games can be a little weird to emulate. So that's why I'm not suggesting Portrait of Ruin or Dawn of Sorrow, even though those are both good games. They're just harder to emulate. So I'd suggest either the OG RPG Lite one, which, hey Ozzy, so like the OG RPG Lite of Symphony of the Night, or the very newest sort of iteration in the ideal, which is Bloodstained. You can do DS games easily. Then yeah, I liked Dawn of Sorrow. I liked Portrait of Ruin. They've both got sort of unique-ish things. In Portrait of Ruin, you actually play as two people at once and you switch between them. And they've got some nice unlockable modes that utilize that as well. Dawn of Sorrow is like the one that it's a direct sequel to Aria of Sorrow. Which, depending on your preference of story, you may want to play Aria of Sorrow first and then that one. Or because people think that Aria is better, you may want to play Dawn first and then go back and play Aria so that you have an upward curve of enjoyment. But that's dependent on you, I guess. But yeah, my main two, I guess I would suggest. And you'll see more similarities between Bloodstained and like Dawn and Aria because they have very similar mechanics. But yeah, Symphony of the Night, high tier suggestion. but also you can just go straight to Bloodstained if you want a fresher, newer take on the series. Half elf and half orc names. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm yammering about unrelated shit, Ozzy. Boop, 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 boop. Repeat your recommendations slowly, so I'll type them in for you. Okay. Yeah, give me a second. Here we got Symphony of the Night. ES1. Aria of Sorrow. GBA. Order of Ecclesia? I don't remember what system that's for. It's either DS or GBA. Dawn of Sorrow. DS. Portrait of Ruin. DS. Bloodstained. Ritual of the Night. This is PC, Switch, PS4. I think it's on Xbox too, but I'm not sure. There you go. And sorry, let's look at this again. Ivarin, I think, is the elf new name. Yes, Ivarin. Can I add subtract? Spell this right. Varin Drumar. Or actually, is there two A's? Versatile heritages. Yes, two A's. Dromar. In sorry for the I don't think half orc or half elf is anywhere else. The only other half thing is right here in orc site where it says half heritage. So if you want to change that to versatile heritage, you could. You can see while people are around, you can show your ancestry, but not your or just heritage if you want. Yeah. Because like part of the thing they were stepping away from is making them like half, like you can be, it's just dominant enough in your heritage. I think that's, yeah. Okay. Okay, so we were on detective. No, I didn't close it. I just on a different tab, so it looks different. Detective. While investigating, okay, that part's selected. So under this, not part of a cult. Couldn't be part of a cult as a detective. It's not allowed. You can only have one background. Whoop. Control B, not Control V again, please. The easy part of this section is that they're all skill check, basically. So I don't have to change that. Emissary is next. There's some Oz exceptions. I'm sure there is. Like here in Emissary, it talks a little bit more about like just having more languages, but I think it's still overall there's a use of skills, the skills themselves, and any of the uncommon or rare ones, if you put them in here, could get a little weirder, because pretty much exclusively the uncommon ones don't really push the formula too far, but might give you something a little unusual, and rare ones actively break the mold and structure of a background in one way or another for some more extreme options. Emissary. You're at unofficial function. Or at an official function, not an unofficial function. Derp. But regarding what has taken up a fair bit of conversation this stream, Ozzy, do you like video games at all? Do you play any video game? Used to, then I had kids. I don't have kids, but I still don't have a lot of time, which was kind of what I was lamenting, is like I might decide to stream a little bit on a Monday every once in a while just to have an excuse to play a video game. Entertainer. Oh, wait a second. It's been 87 years. How long has it been since I said anything on stream? Ozzy, I added skill check because the second one is a skill check. Seriously? Oh, fuck. I've said so many things. Oh, damn. Well, shit. Man, I just thought I wasn't engaging. I mean, I guess I wasn't. Yeah, I have like the other stuff up over the view so I can't see it. I know. Note the VOD with what you said so we can go back and see. That's so hard. I don't have time for that. I have to get ready for work. Long story short, I like games like that too. I've played Terraria for over 1,000 hours. Slay the Spire has similar, like, you want to be broken by the time you get to the final boss, not barely making it. What else? Shit. FML. Like the issue is, like, I can't remember everything I said, like, because I'm a airhead. Well, I think I mentioned Vampire Survivors as being fun. Yeah, getting anything old to run on newer hardware is its own mess. Although fun fact about Roller Coaster Tycoon is it was written in such a way that it was written in like the base code of like computers at the time. So like it didn't need like anything. Like the file size was like tiny or something. It was written in assembly language. For Microsoft Macro Assembler. 99% of it with 1% written in C. Not C sharp, C. Jeez. Man, I wish voice mod would stop crashing on me. Like my mic sounds like shit without it. And I can't afford a better mic right now. Yeah, I used to have a better mic for podcasting, but I gave it to a friend when I stopped podcasting. Man. I know what I need to do. I need to move the audio mixer. Under the controls. So that way I can see it when it stops working. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. That'll do me as a stopgap. For now, at least. Do not push right click. Is it right click crash? The game or your computer? Because I have a feeling it could go either way. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. It flings you to the corner of the map. Oh, that's not too bad. At least it keeps running. Oh, I see. Okay. Then you need to move with your sluggishly slow arrow keys back to the actual roller coaster. Yeah. It could be worse, though. It could brick your computer. It throws out absolute possible worst case scenario. It says, oh, it could be this. These days, Microsoft will just do that to us with an update. I had a better computer, then I got a Windows update, and then it fried. But I do have to be getting ready for work, so I think that's where I'm gonna call it, having just put in guard. Anyone who's gonna jump in, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Or I'm in the middle of an ad. I should wait to say things because I don't think everyone can hear me. Whenever I'm done, I have to mess around with File Explorer in my browser by clicking different things in a specific order to get my mouse working again. Yeah, that is a little weird. The joys of incompatible software. Have you tried running it in a shell? Supercat? That might save you some difficulties. It might not, I don't know, but it might. I just got it on Steam and play it like that. Oh, okay. Fair enough. You're not like actually running the original, you're running the poorly ported version. Well, it's something at least. I never had the Tycoon games. Not sure if I'd like them or not, honestly. Like, I'm not a big fan of, like, The Sims or anything. But it was cheap, a few cents. Yeah, that's fair. If you can get a few cents of enjoyment out of it, hey, that's more than enough. And chances are you'll probably get more than that. Okay, so the ad's over now. It's after 1. I have to get ready for work. Excuse me. So I'm gonna close up here. Let's see, we'll try to raid somebody. See if anybody's running Pathfinder or doing anything Pathfinder related. We have Yui Kami, saying let's stat characters for 2e. So, we can go raid them. Goodbye, all. Have a good day. I will see you another day. Probably tomorrow, for some of you at least. Bonsoir. You too. Have a good one.